will feature funny and uplifting footage caught on doorbell cams. I can't reach it. Those might want the sites, but here's the thing to remember. After the inventor of Ring originally appeared on Shark Tank, sharks. Would it have been nice to know who was behind the door before you let me in? My product you can. It was purchased by Amazon. Well, guess what? Amazon bought MGM Studios earlier this year. So think about it. This is now an Amazon
of media, like I've said earlier. Media play a predominant role. And for the past elections, we can see from all this the roles that media has played. At the same time, objectives are most importantly educating readers of political news and affairs. But in Nigeria now, this is Lara Williams. In Nigeria now, we are seeing a different thing, which is not real, which is not new, because that is what is happening all over the world. Many people, the way they are making use of media is for their own benefits. Fine, it's part of the advantage of media. Your own brand. How are you telling people, giving information about your brand? PDP will talk about rebranding. When we're talking about rebranding, that means it's a brand already. But maybe there are some mistakes, or maybe there are some fault or flaws. So what they are thinking now is how we can rebrand it and sell this product to our people. So I've been able to tell us about what media is and also the role that media play when it has to do with electoral process, especially on political campaign. I hope you are going along with me.
Yes.
Now, let's look at definition of social media. Social media are interactive computer-mediated technologies. They facilitate the creation and sharing of information. What is media? Media is a medium where you can send an information. Media is a medium where you can send or you can pass an information and you get a feedback. Because when you send an information and there's no feedback, that means you have not sent any information. And this medium we use to pass information is what we call as media. In Nigeria, we have the print, which happens to be all these newspapers like Daily Trust, like Leadership, other newspapers that we know. Also, we also have electronic based when we're talking about radio and also television. Now we have the web, which we can also call the online, or we can also call the social media, which has some other things that has to do with it. Now, when we're talking about this social media of a thing, it facilitates the creation and sharing of information, ideas. For example, I remember when I was still in the office, you know, we have the news department and we also have the programs department. In programs department, we look at it that if you enter our office with an idea, we turn it to a program. What are we trying to say? We are programmers. We are people that we can take a topic, we can pick up a topic and use it for almost 30 minutes, an hour program, and the listeners will never get tired. But when it has to do with news, news is just passing of information. And that's why you always see breaking, news flash, all this stuff. We can go for an event together. They can record over 2-3 hours, but they don't use more than a minute or 2 minutes in their program. But when it has to do with programs, oh my God, that 2 hours can turn to be 10 hours program, because we'll be picking out of it one by one. Now we go back to this issue of social media, which I know very well that these are things that many people are using today. And most of us, we are familiar with it.
Yes.
Like I said, we can share information, ideas, career interests, and other form of expression via virtual communities and networks. Also, social media is something that we see as some pros and cons associated with the role it plays in politics. In fact, I would have loved to ask questions, but I am still teaching. Because if you look at what social media is turning Nigeria to today, and not only Nigeria, even in America, in India, in Asia, in Europe, social media has been a vessel, a weapon. It's like something, a tool in the role it plays in politics. In recent years, we as a society, we have seen more politicians using social media as another platform to promote their campaigns and communicate to the masses. That is another importance that we have in media. Hello, I hope you are listening to me. Now, when we look at our political process, the roles, like I was saying earlier, the roles that media has played, it has played its own significance and relevance part at today, unless if you don't really want to say the truth. But one thing I want us to know is that it's not only has to do with politics alone. When we talk about media, there are 3 things I want you to know that you can not take away from media. Number 1, education. Media will definitely educate you. How will media educate you? Like what we are doing now. I'm making use of Zoom to pass this information to you, like lecturing, which we think is something that we can sit down in a class and do. Or maybe we go and look for a big hall and we rent chairs and we sit down and be looking and be listening. At times we can say, the place where she is very far. But now look at what social media has enabled us to do. And if you want any information about anything, you can go to your Google. You can search for it. And you get exactly what you want. Another thing is area of entertainment. If you are bored and you felt I need to listen to some music, you can go to social media like YouTube, SoundCloud, and listen to this. Don't forget, before we will be talking about radio. we'll be talking about television. Without these two things, you don't have this opportunity. And also information to inform readers on many areas of interest which are relevant in this information age. The youth will tell you, we are in our jet age. What do you understand by being a jet age? It's not about this moral decadency we are looking at today. We are looking at area where you can get information, where you can be able to pass information and get the feedback, where people can go and say, I want to look at this. For example, my son was telling me something this morning. I said, okay, I am not scared. I said, okay, I'll go and check it and get back to you. I am not a medical doctor, but I can still get like first aid and those things that he can do to avoid that thing to happen. I think you are getting what I'm saying. You know, the right to information and right to freedom of speech and expression are as important among the other rights the citizens enjoy in a democracy. I remember during the regime of our past presidents, President Jonathan, when he passed in the FBI, that is the freedom of information, all the journalists were very happy. But there are some things we need to look at, which we are still going to talk about as we are looking in the role of media in politics. In Nigeria, for example, we consist of 3 branches of government. We have the legislature, we have the executive, and also we have the judiciary. But you know that there is another branch that we call the 4th estate. The 4th estate. And who are the people in this 4th estate? The press, the media people. These are the people in the 4th estate. And this is the reason why there are a lot of restrictions on mass media. Publishing of materials. I, as a person, I work with a government establishment. There are some restrictions on us. For example, you can't just go on here and be saying anything. They need to edit your script before you go on air. Because the place where I work, being the international broadcasting station of the country, we have what we call what we use in our broadcast. It is not possible for you to just go on air and just be talking like some of the freelance presenters or producers, the way they used to say it.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have a producer. It is that producer that will check your script. There are some things that we call not to be broadcast. There are some music that we don't use. There are some words that you have to use rightly. Compared to private stations that they are into profit making. They are free, but to a certain level, because we as mass media people, we have the ethics of the profession. and which we are going to look after looking at the restriction of mass media. The restrictions we have on mass media, one of it is publishing materials. Even newspapers, before they can publish any materials, they need to make sure they find the real source of that materials. You can't just publish what you cannot defend. You don't have the right to publish anything defamatory or seditious. Also, there are some restrictions on freedom of speech and expression of citizens. You can't go on here and start saying anything the way you like it or using some words. And also, we as broadcasters or as journalists, we have to be familiar with the laws that are enriched in the constitution of this country, even with the freedom of information signed by President Jonathan. There are still some laws enshrined in our constitution that we must be aware of. Then when we're talking about, sorry, before I move to that, what is the importance of mass media? And what role does mass media play in political process with all these restrictions? Now let us go to the ethics of our profession. I tell people, social media has enabled a lot of people to become journalists, and at the same time, they think because of the social media, they can post anything they like online. When we're talking about journalism, we have code of conduct. And part of the code of conduct is what I've written down here. Number one is objectivity. Objectivity. You don't just go on here, or maybe you want to write something online. We can't be objective. You just have to be objective. You know, you don't just fix on one person because the person has paid you like some people used to do. And that is why many people did not respect this profession. But I'm telling you right here now that when we talk about journalism, it's a profession with respect. It's a profession that has the ethics of the profession. It is not something that you can just go into. Another thing that has to be part of the code of conduct is fairness, equity, truth and accuracy. Then we talk about independence. Then accountability. Will you be able to give account of this news we are giving or the materials we are giving out? Then impartiality, fairness and impartiality. You don't tell me because somebody is my brother and I want to write something to suit my brother without considering the other person. In mass media, we have what we call fairness and impartiality. Now, we go to the new social media impact, which I believe many of us are used to today. We have many political parties that they have not leveraged the full potential of the mass media, especially social media. To be sincere with you, Twitter, Facebook or Meta that they call themselves now, Telegram, Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, all this, and so on and so forth. Let me just keep it short like this. I think these are the ones we are very familiar with. I have to let us know that this new social media impact is something that we can never overrule. We need to know and understand the way media works. We need to be aware to have an edge on campaign strategy, especially during elections. For example, if your opposition is coming up with some materials, and you as a party, especially the publicity department, you are not so familiar about all this, we need to go back to the drawing system. We need to have some departments that we need to look into this. I checked something on the media today. A lot of argument has been on that thing. And a lot of people have been writing different things that has nothing to do. But do you know that when we go back to our archive and bring out the facts, this will silence whatever the opposition has written. The importance of social media now is for us to bring out those things and start using it. And that will silence whatever anybody has been having concerning that. Another thing is that it has been a great opportunity or influence on voters. Let me be sincere with you. I tell people one thing. Our people in Nigeria, when we look at the population, when we look at the percentage, we say, okay, the youth has more percentage, more than the grown men and women. That is a fact. And we should realize something, that when we're talking about the youth age, they are familiar with this social media we're talking about. And at the same time, issue of what are the things that we use for us to connect to these social medias. We talk about phones, tablets, computers, etc. Who are those people? What are their percentage that have influence on this? Look at it now. For example, election is coming up in 2023. General elections that will start. Campaign will start in September. Let's use Osun State election as a case study. When we started the campaign, were for Osun State elections. Do not forget, APC is the incumbent government. PDP wants to take it over. And another party spring up, which happened to be the Labour Party. And if you look at the way the Labour Party are on the social media, in fact, you will think that they have captured everybody in the country. But thank God for the publicity media of PDP. Also, the publicity media of APC. They started, everybody on their own. But sincerely, they were able to make use of social media during that election. If you look at pre-election, election, and post-election, you will see that the impact of social media in that election assisted the new electoral law. I hope we are getting what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
So when we're talking about media, either new or old, It has a great influence on voters as the agenda setting impact is mostly determined by the media houses. Government-owned organizations, private-owned organizations. So we can definitely conclude that the mass media does influence citizens and has a great role in facilitating political process. If you have any questions, I want you to be writing it down because I will definitely attend to every question.
Thank you.
I'm trying to check our time so that we can be fast with whatever we are doing. Once again, I'm happy everyone that is here, even the state chairman of Lagos State Radio, Television, Theatre and Art Workers Union, Ratau, that is a person of Adejumo Ismaila Ishola, is also online.
Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma.
Thank you. I recognize you and I recognize everybody, but I have to recognize my chairman. Thank you, sir.
Ma. Thank you, my senior comrade. Yeah, that is
you.
an honor indeed. I'm most honored. Thank you.
Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So now we go to impact of old and new media outlets in politics. I remember some years ago, we're talking about digital. We have to go digital. We have to go digital. Radio have to go digital. Television has to go digital. Everybody has to go digital. And many of us are digital today.
Yes.
They are thinking of transformation of old media outlets. I remember in my place of work, we have a lot of old items, old instruments, like all those things that they used to use then. Later, we transformed into digital. From there, we are now online. 7 decades ago, we have been talking about digital. The print media and radio facilitated the political process of a nation. Then, I remember when we talk about Concord, it's owned by one politician. Same thing is still happening to today. There are some print media that are being owned by some politicians, and those people that are there are using it to promote their brand. Please, kindly unmute ourselves so that we can be able to enjoy.
Yes, the Mr. Petrus mute.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, mine is mute. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, like I'm saying, radio and television, sincerely, I'm always proud to be a broadcaster. Anybody can carry their radio. It's not possible to carry television on your head, in your farm. But you know you can have your phone in your pocket and be listening to what is going on. And I give it to the Hausa, the people like that in the northern area. I give it to them. They don't joke with their radio. But there are a lot of transformation that have started. You know, you can have your phone and listen to news now. We have this radio garden. You can imagine the numbers of stations that we have on that radio garden. We have simple radio. You can imagine the numbers of radio stations. You can tune in. But one thing is, the new media technologies have started to play a bigger role in determining the success factor for news cycles. And that's where it brought in new media outlets. like Lara Williams Media. And some other new media outlets that will be coming. Sincerely,
Yes, sir.
knowledge is power.
Sure.
And there's nothing you can do with knowledge. I may have said, okay, oh, I am due working with the government, but that knowledge is always there. And I will continue to make use of it to impact the lives of other people. And that's why I'm so much happy for those people that joined this program, because I know you will never remain the same about the roles of media in politics. Now, let's look at this. New media advantages and new media disadvantages. Politicians who know how to use the media as a tool have the upper hand to influence the public, yes or no?
Yes, of course. Significantly, yes.
But many of our publicity media departments, they need people, they need to make use of that department for their brand. Let me be sincere with you. If there's any information today, it is what people hear or what they see that they will think that is the truth.
Yeah.
But if you keep it to yourself and you feel it's not necessary, they would have known, Jare, there's no need of me saying anything. Before you know it, there will be propaganda. There will be fake news. There will be disinformation. And there will be misinformation. These four things, I am still going to explain it to you. Then they use media to develop a brand that stands to connect with the country. Even if you are at place of work, you can take your phone and view all those things. Oh, this is a candidate of APC. Oh, this is candidate of PDP. Oh, this is candidate of Labour Party. That's part of the advantage. And this Kennedy-Nixon debate demonstrates the effect of media and how, if it is used properly, it will definitely influence public opinion. That is the fact. Then we look at some other advantages. People around the world to communicate and stay connected to each other for free, like what we are doing, though I'm paying for my app because it's a professional app. But I'm happy I'm using it to touch other people's life, to engage people in things that will assist them in future. Mass information sharing is very easy and very quick and smart, since many social media sites provide the ability of creating groups like WhatsApp, like Telegram, like Facebook. Even on Facebook, we have pages, we have groups. It's two different things. And there are some things you can do on group, you can't do on pages. And there are some things you can do on your page, you can't do it on your group. And they have a serious security, though we have all these fraudsters, online fraudsters, but they have been trying all their possible best to secure all their customers. It's a way of earning livelihood for a huge number of people who are running their pages on social media sites like Facebook, or are running video channels on YouTube. Lot of other business like page services run most of our businesses online with the help of social media, like Lara Williams Media. A lot of business are showcased through media, social media. I know on YouTube, many video channels are for people to learn, are for people to get entertained, they are for giving to educate people, in order to tell stories about some other people. Gossips, bloggers. Most times I laugh and laugh when I listen to some of them. Well, kudos to them, they are doing their job. That's their business. And they are trying to promote it in a cost-effective manner through social media. Keep it up. Social sites are a great source of information sharing globally, which also provides us with a platform to write on our own blogs. Social sites are a great source of information sharing worldwide, which also provides you with a platform to write your own blogs. I hope we are going along with me. Then we look at the disadvantages. Number one of it is addiction. A lot of people get addicted to social media. Yes. Some people, if they have not checked YouTube or they have not checked WhatsApp, they can't sleep. Some people, if they have not, what do I say? Especially YouTube, TikTok, yes, I remember. Or check other people's reels on Facebook. They are so addicted to it. And to the extent that if you tell them anything, they will not believe. They will go and be telling you that, go and see what is written on the social media. Addiction. When they are supposed to be working, they are either on Facebook, they are either on YouTube, they are either on TikTok. Then another disadvantage is that terrorist groups use it as a weapon to mislead people by spreading messages to influence their way of thinking in a negative manner. They also use social media to recruit new members. And that is what I always tell our youth. It is not all groups you join on social media. They are doing their own business that they believe in. But you as a person doesn't need to join every group. They will entice you, but you just have to be careful. Then physical meetings, gatherings, and face-to-face interaction between people has been reduced, making us lazy. And those people like to sit idle in front of their laptops or handsets, chatting with each other. It has a negative impact of society and their health too. Well, that area of health is what I'm much concerned. Because when you are looking at your phone too much, looking at your laptops, it affects your eyes. An area of the negative impact on the society is that many people are having us where we're supposed to be having this type of program. It's affecting their business. So I have to be frank and be sincere with that. Then loss of privacy. As soon as hackers find a flaw in the security of the website, they can take advantage and use your profiles for their benefit, and you may completely lose your privacy. That is why most of these social media platforms are trying all their possible ways to make sure that they secure our privacy. You don't disclose your privacy, but they can enter. But the social media platform, either WhatsApp or Facebook, they have been using this two-step verification. Choose the one that is secure, that you know that they will not be able to hack. A lot of them have been trying. I've been hacked once. That was almost 10 years ago on Facebook. I never knew. It was my cousin, my niece that called me and said, it seems as if they have hacked your platform. So I have to go back, quickly do whatever I can do, and I was able to secure it. For the past few months now, they have been trying to hack my Facebook, but God didn't allow it. It is not that I'm perfect. They know what to do. So we have to secure our privacy. Very, very important. I want you to know that even Zoom, they can hack it. So we need to be careful about the use of social media. For students, it poses to be one of the biggest distractions. We can think of more advantage and disadvantage and add them up. So we can look at this. For students, instead of them reading their books, they are either on TikTok, YouTube, the latest news, the latest blog. This is another disadvantage of social media. So as we go on, I'll be asking some questions on that. Wow. Well, social media a must for all. It's compulsory every one of us get informed and get in touch with social media, because you can use that marketing, and at the same time, media experts like social media experts body agree that social media is a must for everyone. Anyone that aspires to go far, either your business, either your profession, if you ignore social media, it's going to be too disadvantageous for anyone seeking to go far. And I'm telling our political parties, I'm telling our politicians that social media is a must for them. If you really want to showcase your brand, if you want to rebrand your brand, if you want people to know more about your brand, social media is a must for everyone. So, in today's political sphere, it's very, very important that we are constant with social media. A free and independent media serves as a check on government. But is that so in Nigeria? Unless we deceive ourselves. The government wants to control their own organization. The private also wants to control their own organization. Whereas, as a media organization, we are to serve as a check on the government. So if the government control the media, definitely they will escape from all accountabilities. They will escape from all actions they take, and also will threaten the principles of the free and fair democratic system we employ. However, as of late, the media has not served its intended purpose. What did they do? They serve as an unbiased and impartial source of information. Instead, media have become partial, one way or the other, on the political spectrum, and therefore skew the way the information they present is perceived. In conclusion, the role that media play is hugely important in politics today. Not only does it cover important stories pertaining to politics, but it shields the stories in favor of one political ideology. And at the same time, it influences the general public into different opinions on certain issues. The media possess more power than that. And if you look at the campaign of President Donald Trump in America, you can see how he made use of free media coverage that he received. Don't forget Fox News. And now in America, we can see the importance of social media. It's possible. And it happens in all over the world. I just cite this example as a powerful example of how strong the influence of the media is. Even if the American people are not quite aware of how powerful it really is. You know, everybody, we are learning every day. In Nigeria, we can make use of this social media to influence our political parties, to influence the brand, to influence our own choice. And that will be taking me into another topic where I will be making use of a title that is going to emphasize on propaganda, fake news, disinformation, and misinformation. But for today, I would like us, misinformation, I would like us to stop here because of our time. So I want to take some questions so that we can have. Thank you all for listening to this. I hope I have touched many people. If I have not touched, please let me know. So let's have our questions now.
Thank you very much.
Anybody with a question?
Thank you very much, my distinguished comrade, very senior comrade indeed, for this brilliant lecture on the importance of social media and politics. It's quite enlightening and in fact educative. And I want to commend you as you continue on this journey, to at least intensify more effort to bring more stakeholders into this enlightenment talk. It's very, very important. On my own side, I quite appreciate your doggedness and your steadfastness in enlightening us before now that social media is a veritable tool to educate the public in whatever you are selling as a brand. I quite remember when I was doing my electionary campaign, how you came in to at least give some professional advice as to the importance of that smear campaign and any other defamatory material they are putting against us. And we quickly swept into action, and we explored the space as much as we could then to checkmate all those bad eggs. And to the glory of God, we are victorious, and we hold that credit to your advice. And as we are going on now in the administration, we have also expanded our social media network on Facebook, on YouTube, and all other platforms to showcase what we are doing, because people need to know what you are doing, and then they can explore and take advantage of it. So I appreciate what you are doing. And on behalf of Ratau Lagos State Council, we sincerely want to say a big thank you to you, and God will continue to lift you higher, higher. Thank you.
Amen.
That's not really a question, but a word of commendation and appreciation for what you have been doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my chair. I'm loyal. Any other question? Please, if you have any question, can you come up? Wow.
I want to ask, Ma, now
Okay, sir.
that you are an independent media, social media outfit that is willing to render service, in what way can we engage you professionally to further educate our members and maybe explore the political space now? Because now in Nigeria, we're in the political period, and every brand, as you have highlighted, are looking for how they can explore this opportunity of selling their brand to the electorate. And I want to know, so how can we engage you? Because this is a very important platform and tools that can bring victory to any political party that is willing to win election. So I want to know, Ma, so that I can further.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
put that to our people.
Like I always tell you, I'm always available, and this knowledge, I'm ready to impact it into people's life. I love broadcasting. I enjoyed it, though I don't really want to leave it like that. And I'm ready to at least assist people with the knowledge that has been impacted in my life. I love my organization so much, and I believe by the grace of God, God will continue to lead that organization up.
Amen.
So anytime you feel I can come in, any topic you want me to take, I think our journalists need to have more knowledge about the roles they play in politics, especially this generation and this period that general election is coming up.
Yes.
It's a fact, because this is a profession that acts its own ethics.
Sure.
And either for your political parties, either for us that are professionals, we need this knowledge. It's very important. Okay. So anytime you need me, I'm always available. I'm always loyal, sir.
Okay. Thank you, my senior comrade. I quite appreciate that. Noted, man. Noted.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir. Is there any other body that wants to say one thing or the other? We have like 11 minutes to go. Oh, yes. Honorable Beatrice.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to commend you for this wonderful presentation, Ma. Really, we have learned a lot today from this presentation. And my question here is that how will you know that in short, in sourcing for a news, how do you know that this platform contains fake news and it doesn't contain fake news?
Thank you so much. Like I said, my next training is going to be on fake news, propaganda, disinformation, and misinformation. Okay. But one thing I want you to know, in my organization, we are not encouraged to sit at home or listen to or to copy news or to go to YouTube and copy anything and use it as news materials. They want you to go to cover that event. And if you are not able to cover that event, make sure that outlets you are getting the news from is a verified one.
Okay, but how will you know that this website doesn't contain this fake news or it's a good website?
One thing is that, like I said, there are a lot of media outlets now.
Okay.
Even like Lara Williams Media.
Yeah.
But I also let you to understand that there are some outlets that are being owned by politicians.
Yes.
And they use it for their own personal influence.
Interest, yes, it's true.
So, and by the time they are reporting in their news, they will not follow the ethics of that profession.
That's it. That's right.
All those ethics the code of conduct, either objectivity, fairness and
Yes.
impartiality, independence, accountability. I don't want to mention some that have came up during these general elections. There are a lot of discussion on that. There are some of us, senior journalists, that they are working for politicians.
Yes.
So you can imagine an editor sitting down, and let me tell you the truth. In this profession, we have gurus. And when we
Yes.
talk about the power of pen
Yes.
and the power of that microphone, my brother, media is power.
Yes.
So, and I believe,
That's why I call the fourth stage of the realm.
yeah. So I'm going to say much about this in my next lecture, which is going to be maybe fortnight, that in 2 weeks' time, because I want every one of us to be prepared so that we can go into this. I really want to talk about this before we enter into the real campaign.
Okay.
So that it can have a good impact in our lives.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I really appreciate.
Any other one? Any other question, please? Wow, it's a pleasure having every one of us here today. And I sincerely thank you all for being part of this. And I know that the knowledge impacted will be used in everything you are doing. Thank you once again.
Thank you, ma. But we'll be, yes, ma. Maybe you send the soft copy of
Definitely,
the material to
I'm
us.
going
Yes,
to
on our
share
WhatsApp.
it. Yes, I'm going to share it on the WhatsApp. I'm going to share it on the YouTube. I'm going to share it so that other people also can have access to it.
Thank you, ma. Thank you.
Well, my name is Lara Williams, and my mail is there. That is Lara Williams Media at gmail.com. And my website is www.socialmediaspy.org. So I use that also for my news blog. So if you have any news that you want to send out, you can send it to me. I can assist you with that. So, and if you want anything that you want to market or to share, I can also do that for you. We are family, and we are one. I'm so grateful, and I thank you for being here. So see you some other time. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, man. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you. Thank you.